welcome to Before I Do. And we are on part 2 of Why Should I Get Married? But you must know that this show, it covers what should be done before I do, before you get the ring, before you walk down the aisle. But specifically, this show is for if you're engaged, if you are dating, even if you're married, tune in. The best gift that you can give to people who are getting ready to walk down that aisle, two people who are in love, two people who want to declare what that looks like, this advice. So tell them to tune in. And again, if you're a veteran, were married, are married, seeking to be married, this show is for you. Before I Do.
This is brought to you by the Couples Academy. My name is Walter Jennings.
I'm Charmaine Jennings.
And yes, we do oftentimes, I know a couple of you all are married, and I like this show ends for me. This show is for everybody. Especially for those of you that are married, because you all have some insight and perspective and some experiences that a lot of these people that are dating or potentially want to be married need to hear. So this show, if you are dating, if you are engaged to be married, if you want to be married, don't know if you want to be married, you're tuned into Before I Do. So we're really excited. We've been enjoying the show.
Absolutely.
Yes. And as Charmaine mentioned, the topic, this is part 2 tonight of Why Should I Get Married, which is a really popular topic with millennials right now.
Because it's just a piece of paper, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, at least that's what we're hearing, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes millennials and even Gen Zers, there are young adults, usually between the ages of 25 and 23 right now, might be the oldest Gen Zers. And yeah, the conversations are being had. Why should I get married? It's just a piece of paper. We can just live together, right? Mm-hmm. Again, that's what this conversation is about. And so for not millennials, but Gen Zers, and now everyone is really pondering, thinking, questioning, why should I get married? And it really is changing the definition of marriage. And so fewer people are getting married at a younger age. They're waiting till later in life. And it is really reshaping how marriage is being done.
As we get into some of the barriers and benefits, we did talk about some of the barriers and benefits last week, and we'll do a quick recap of those, and then we will get into our final 5 benefits of why should you get married. Want to make sure that you all make a good informed decision. In the meantime, check out this commercial for a last chance weekend right here on Before I Do. All right, everyone, that was Last Chance Weekend, rescuing and restoring marriages. If you are having some challenges, be sure to reach out on couplesacademy.org. Takes place the second weekend of every month. So coming up this coming July 8th through the 10th, please make sure that you check that out. Once again, this is Walter Jennings.
Charmaine Jennings.
And this is Before I Do What You Should Do Before Saying I Do. And tonight we are covering the topic, why should I get married?
Why?
Again, these millennials and a lot of people are questioning, what is the value of marriage today in our day and age? There are many who believe that marriage and the whole institution of it has no place in our society right now as a whole. So just as a recap, I think we had a really great session last week where we talked about some of the topics, and I know that I believe that's our Carlissa. Carlissa says that, yes, they are asking why should they marry?
And you know what? It's not just the millennials or Gen Zers. I'm going to tell you, it's if I'm 40, like I got my life together. I've built myself up. I'm 50. I'm 60, I'm 70. Why should I explore this? Well, if it is something that you want, you love, first of all, be fearless. Ask for what you want, especially if you're a believer. Believe for that good thing and know that God is going to bless you with it.
And that's a great point too, because a lot of people, it's not that they don't want to get married, it's that they're afraid. And even when we looked at some of the barriers that we talked about last week really allude to the fact that people are afraid of getting into marriage because of a lot of the damage by marriage not being done right. And we are here to let you know that marriage can be done right. And so some of the common barriers that are often associated with why people don't want to get married.
Why people don't want to get married, one of the major things is patriarchy and legalism, especially for women. All right. We're not signing up to be shackled and enslaved to a marriage where I am the only one that's supposed to be cooking, cleaning, changing diapers, okay? And the entire checklist of things that throughout society, you know, men and society have told us that we are solely responsible for.
Right. And going right into that, number 2 was childhood experiences, where again, young people or some of adults now, as they experience marriage in their household or just relationships and those dynamics and how they were played out in front of them, and also the high expectations that were presented from some adults now, not thinking that they can have what their parents or what their grandparents had. So a lot of those experiences are leading into barriers for certain people about why they don't want to get married.
That's right. Fear of divorce. Fear of divorce is the main thing, especially if you were eyewitness to experiencing your parents' divorce. That could be a big, major barrier because maybe you don't want to put your own family through that.
Absolutely. And then previous failed relationships or failed marriages, the idea that not having the tools and the strategies and what it takes to actually be successful in a marriage. And that is a real challenge and a real issue for a lot of people as far as with their thought process.
Professional ambitions. Will this marriage get in the way of my individual goals to excel, to start my business, and to do a lot of the things that I aspire to do as an individual?
Yes. And lastly, unfulfilled individual desires. The idea that once you get married, and again, we see this oftentimes with women feeling like once I become a wife or become a mother, I'll no longer be able to pursue some of the personal goals and visions that I have for myself. However, what we see is that marriage is an institution that was actually created to support both the individual purposes of those individuals, but also there's a collective purpose as well. There are 3 purposes that are conjoined together within a marriage. And again, over the years, we've seen that women have not always been supported by their men. Most of the time, one of the spouses, their individual desires are not being fulfilled. And also, you all, and I'm disappointed in y'all. I'm disappointed in us, but I'm disappointed in y'all because there was one barrier that was actually left out. We erroneously left it out. Finances. Finances is the top overall reason for divorce and why marriages fall apart. So that's philosophy as far as with 2 different financial philosophies of what should be done with money, how money should be spent. And as a lot of us know, it starts with the wedding.
Yes, because that is the major event, right? That is the major event that most couples, the biggest event that most couples will plan, right, in their lives. And yeah, you want to talk about it's costly. 10,000 easily can be spent just to invite and host 75 people. And so, yeah, the wedding. There's so many decisions that couples are making for the wedding. And so, yeah, finances are big. How are we going to spend money? And if our philosophy is very different, maybe I have to have a name brand, or maybe I have to present myself a certain way financially, and maybe one person is a spender, the other person's a little frugal. That can be a challenge.
And unfortunately, we've actually heard couples say that they don't want to get married because they can't afford to have the wedding that they want.
Got it.
Wedding and marriage are two different things. They are not synonyms. The wedding is the formalized ceremony, which we'll get into in a second when we talk about some of the benefits of marriage. But the marriage is the actual relationship. That is the part that is the most important. You don't need a big wedding. Wait a minute. You do not need a whole lot of money or pomp and circumstance to have a great marriage. So do not allow the wedding portion to prevent you from building a life with the love of your life.
Now,
I'm just saying.
Did you have a wedding?
Yeah, I did. I spit a grip, but I'm still paying for it now.
No, don't believe that. But either way, for us, our first wedding was just the two of us.
Yes.
So, I mean, we went to the courthouse.
Yep.
Yeah. So we didn't have all the pomp and circumstance when we yoked up our covenant together.
However, we did also have a public ceremony as well. And I will tell you that is one of the best decisions that we made, was to have for us to get married at the courthouse, because it was just us. And so again, it allowed us to solidify the fact that this is our marriage. And our families were irate because we had already planned the wedding, and they thought we weren't going to go forward with the wedding. And it wasn't that. It was that we wanted to do things decent and in order and in God's way. And so we actually ended up going to the courthouse to get married prior to the formal wedding. And we did do the wedding, which is an important part of the ceremony. So Carlisa is saying that Carlisa is on it tonight. She says, when I'm finding childhood traumas unhealed are really killing marriages right now. Absolutely. Yes. So again, a lot of the things that we are bringing into our relationships from our childhood, whether it be trauma, experiences, also wait for it, expectations. Those things that we expect of our partners when they don't live up to what it is that we think that they should be doing or how they should be doing, those things are absolutely detrimental to relationships.
But the great thing is if you, especially if you're a believer, for those of you who are a believer, if God tells you that this is your person, right, you have to trust that they're going to have the grace to walk with you and with you as you're going through your healing journey. And so we all come into a relationship with some childhood baggage. I call them the invisible suitcases. Some of those things in the suitcase we packed in there ourselves, but some of the things were already pre-packaged. And so you didn't get a chance to decide where you were born, your name, certain things like that. So we all come with those experiences. But you want to pray that the person that you are assigned to, and that you, in your free will choice, that they accept you and that they have the grace to walk with you as you're going through your healing process.
Absolutely. So those were some of the barriers that we talked about last week. And so we got a chance to get into the five reasons why you should get married if you're considering it.
All right. So reason number 1, better physical health. Yes. You have somebody that can be an accountability partner and really help you to stay on top of keeping that body tight, right? Mind, body, soul, and not just the body, but the mind, the body, and the soul. So you have that accountability partner.
Absolutely. Just talked about this, but finances, you have more financial stability. Obviously, you have 2 incomes generally that are together in a marriage, and also with the tax laws and some of the tax breaks that are made available to couples. So it actually produces more financial stability for society, which is greater as a whole.
And then we have the social mobility, which provides different advantages to married, like if you decide to become parents, but it allows you to, your socioeconomic status and your class level, it allows you to definitely move up a lot faster in the brackets.
Absolutely. And then next we talked about greater childhood wellness. So studies and statistics show that 80% of children who grow up in co-parent homes, they have a better chance of growing up better with mental and also financial wellness because of having both parents in the home. And so it's a critical part as far as marriage and what it provides as far as with stability and a opportunity for children to really have that balance that they need.
That's right. I mean, and children are happier. They feel that safety and security. And I will also say number 5.
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing.
Got to ring the bell. Got to ring the bell.
Yeah.
Ring the bell.
Number 5.
For those of y'all don't know, when we on it, and you can request us to ring the bell too. To ring the bell, that's that aha wow moment. So if it's a ring the bell moment, put in the comments, ring the bell.
All right.
So yeah.
I don't know who said this, who started this rumor, okay? But the 5th benefit to being married is more sex and more sex and more sex. So yeah, some people say, stay single. The sex is better when you're single. Not true. All right. Talk to some married couples, and studies, statistics, data supports the fact that married people have more sex. It's just the truth. So whoever started that rumor that married people don't have sex, okay, they were hating. All right, they were sipping out. They were pretty much just in the shade room, okay, because they were hating. Married people definitely have sex, more sex, even than single people. All right. And that's according to you. Like, girl, where you got that information? I'm gonna tell you, we got it from, you got Newsweek, you got the CDC, you got the American Psychological Association, you got the General Society survey. So you got a lot of different surveys that say married people have more sex than other groups.
Absolutely. So as they used to say, don't take our word for it. Look up the data and the statistics yourself. And also too, just keep in mind that this is also the idea when the marriage is done right. We know that there are some models of and some certain marriages that again are not being done correctly. When marriage is done right, when it is operating at its ideal level as far as with both individuals that are committed, then it is the building block for our society, which we'll talk about in a second. We are going to take a quick break and we will come back with our next 5 benefits for a marriage. But in the meantime, check out this commercial. We'll be right back. All right, you all, welcome back to Before I Do. Tonight we're talking about why should I get married, and Carlissa is fighting to be the MVP for the night. She is going in. When it comes to finances, she says you can have a free-spirited spender who makes it hard to stay ahead financially as it relates to finances. So you have to have some balance as it relates to that individual who wants to save, but also that individual who is going to be adamant about you all enjoying and living life now.
And Carlissa, you make a great point. See, as relationship coaches, we specialize in premarital counseling, and I'm going to tell you, in our sessions, first of all, book us. Yes, reach out, Couples Academy. Book a session with us. But in premarital counseling, that's something we go over. We make sure we audit your finance. What is your relationship with money? And you want to know what your partner's relationship is with money. If they are a spender and a lender, and they're going to be spending all the money or lending it all out, we definitely have to talk about that and establish some ground rules. And
Carlissa actually goes right into that. She says there are people who are married right now who are having a decline in the quality of marriage, but it's happening. So this whole idea, and that's why we say even if you are a married couple, this show is not too late for you as well, because a lot of these principles, a lot of the things that we're talking about are important for us to actually have these crucial discussions within our marriage. So tonight we have 5 more benefits of why you should be married, why you should get married. So number 1 is the fact that marriage is a covenant, not a contract.
A covenant, not a contract. What's the difference?
Yeah, so a covenant is a pledge or a formal promise between 2 or more parties to do or not do something that specifies stipulations, privileges, and responsibilities that govern the relationship. A covenant involves 2 important elements: an oath and a seal. So we talked about weddings in the beginning. Part of the reason why weddings were implemented was to formalize the whole process of the marriage. That's why you all, when you attend weddings, they call you witnesses. So this whole idea of a covenant in marriage is to really not only formalize the relationship, but also to call accountability to it. Mm-hmm. A lot of what is happening now in this day and age when we talk about people not getting married is that although a marriage is absolutely between two individuals, mm-hmm. the society and our communities are impacted by those. That's and right. So it's important for us to have those measures of accountability. And we know that some of the things that are part of a covenant, even the word covenant sounds ancient. It sounds old. It's scary to people. Things like oath and seal, those things, they sound serious because they are, and a marriage is. So it's this whole idea of taking your relationship and making sure that you're formalizing it and committing to your spouse the fact that you are hold on, let me break you are important to me. Yes. You are important enough for me to, like, in front of my family, in front of my community,
in public,
to declare to the whole world that I want to spend my life with you. And these people in front of me, I'm asking them to hold me accountable and to be a part of our village to make sure that I'm honoring you.
I do. Again. And again. Oh, and you know what? And so that dispels when we talk about it's just a piece of paper. When I hear that from not just our young folk, I mean, even older, it's just a piece of paper. It's not. A contract is written on a piece of paper, but a covenant, that goes much deeper. That is spiritual. A covenant cannot be broken, meaning you are held to that for life. And so the witnesses and the people who come and attend, and they are witnesses to your covenant and what you're promising to do. Like, you guys are, the village is really supposed to support that couple, pray for that couple, support that couple through it all. And so we got to get back to that.
Absolutely.
We got to get back to that. So if you are an elder in your family, and I mean, we have other couples in your family, you want to make sure everybody's healthy. And so we want to provide those supports. So one thing we tell you, the best gift you can give a young couple who wants to get married, first of all, definitely they need to know about Couples Academy.
Yes.
But definitely reaching out to get premarital counseling.
Please get Please get counseling before you get married.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. So yes, book us, call us. All right, and share that. But that really is a gift and really a tradition I would love for us to start with the younger couples in our families. But number 7, another benefit of being married is it is the building blocks of creating strong communities. And so in order to do that, when couples are happy, they are enjoying their lives together, they are building something wonderful, and then they choose to expand their family with children, for example. Children experience higher academic performance, emotional maturity. They have a strong sense of safety and security because finances are stronger. And so, again, it really promotes stronger communities. So stronger marriages equals stronger communities lead to stronger nations, and so on and so forth.
So that's a really important part, again, of part of the things that we are seeing in our society. There are many statistics and stories that show that the decline in not only marriages but the quality of marriages is a direct impact to the quality and betterment in our society. So marriage is a building block and a really important part of our society and what we're able to accomplish and do. All right, so number eight, and one of the benefits of marriage is that it provides a deeper level of connection and intimacy. Yeah, intimacy is one of the primary reasons why people get married. It's a stress reliever, and it also plays a fundamental role in marital functioning, commitment, stability, and psychological and physical well-being. As far as with couple intimacy, the idea of having the opportunity to not only share life, but to share your growth process. One of the things that Charmaine and I've been thanking her for doing life with me lately, because there have been things where as I see my mistakes and as I've grown and matured, having that connection of being able to recognize where I've come from and also being able to share some of my fears, but also my successes and some of my hopes and dreams with her, is our marriage has been a conduit through which we've been able to communicate those things.
And speaking of intimacy, I have we do personality profiles with our clients. So again, as well as in Couples Academy, we have a lot of great resources and tools. And one thing I will say is I didn't realize I had a rare personality type. So he thanks me. But the more and more we keep living, as the elders say, keep living, I also am appreciative that he's been very patient with me and the uniqueness of how I show up.
If I couldn't say a word, I just wave my hand. If I couldn't say a word.
And benefit number, are we on number 9?
We're on number 9.
Number 9, benefit number 9 as to why you should date and dating in the pursuits of being married is because it will allow you to be happier.
Say what?
Happier. Yeah, I know. Some people right now, they're looking like, really? Most people I know that are married, they're not happy. Well, you know what? Keep looking for the happy couples. The ones that are happy, they're really doing the work. And it does require work. This is not something you roll out of bed every morning and it's just easy to do. So data from the General Social Survey says that between 2010 and 2018, very happy adults included 40% of the people who said they were very happy were married. 24% were either separated or divorced, and 22% were never married at all. So again, when you look at this research and when you look at the data and in various data points, married people are happier. There's a sense of safety, security, trust. And again, when the work is being done the right way, yes, you can support, you're happier. And when you think of all the things we just mentioned, intimacy, sex, finances, sex. I just had to ring the bell again. All right. So what's the last benefit?
So the last benefit, and for those of you who are spiritual, those of you who are not spiritual, that's fine. But why you should get married, the 10th benefit is that to honor God. And so marriage, John Piper says that marriage exists to magnify the truth and worth of beauty and greatness of God. And for those who are Christians, those who are believers, marriage is seen as a reflection of God's relationship with the church and his people. So God honors marriage because God established marriage, is what we believe.
Oh, say that again.
God honors marriage because God established marriage. So it was set up and it was an institution that was created by him. And again, a lot of the challenges that we see and experience within marriage, some of the non-examples that we see are, as I continue to reiterate, Danielle and Hassani got it exactly right. It's marriage not being done right. Do not allow non-examples or bad examples to prevent you from experiencing or thinking that you can't have the marriage and the relationship that you want.
Yeah. And if you get any advice that's counter to that, they're plagiarizing.
Yes.
It is something that God created, and it's beautiful, and it's meant to honor both his creations as husband and wife, to honor both of them and to have pretty much this deep, intimate connection. And so when we plagiarize it, when we do it the wrong way, when we try to put our own spin on it, and that's when the challenges occur. But marriage is work too.
Marriage is work. No, it's a work.
No, it's a work. No,
it's a work. Marriage is a work.
It's not the fairy tale, but it can be wonderful. It can be magical.
Absolutely.
So yes.
Yeah, when both parties are committed to working out their marriage, it can be an absolutely phenomenal thing. Listen, y'all, we're talking about why should I get married? We're going to take a brief break. We'll be back with your questions and comments, so be sure to put them in the chat. In the meantime, check out this commercial. everybody. Welcome back to Before I Do. Once again, we're talking about why should I get married. We ran down the 10 reasons of why you should get married, things to consider, and also the 7 barriers, things that you want to be aware of, some of the challenges that you can anticipate. But again, from our perspective, it's worth it.
Absolutely. And again, don't allow fear to rule you. Faith over fear. Go for it. Speak those things that you want and receive it as they come towards you. Don't be afraid of it.
Want to take a couple of comments. So if you have a comment, be sure to put them in the chat. Carlissa says the pandemic hit this hard though. Yes. Absolutely. So we know that COVID, what was interesting about COVID with people being quarantined is that a lot of married couples had to get to know each other again.
Absolutely.
And the irreconcilable differences, the idea that people have been married for years and now are not being able to get away from each other and hide behind their jobs and a lot of their social events. Now it's, wow, I got to get to know you, and I don't like what I see. And I believe that divorce rate has risen since COVID. And a lot of it has been because that's a telltale sign of individuals and couples who were not doing the work, who are allowing some of the other responsibilities to become priority over their spouse and over making sure that their relationship was strong and intact. But we actually have a different story, right?
Absolutely. Really, for us, the pandemic brought us closer together. We both were working outside of the home. We wound up having to work more in the home. We started exercising, working out together. We talked more. We started dreaming out loud with each other, more conversations with our children. It tightened and strengthened our connection. Now, we are a household full of introverts over here, so that might have had something to do with it as well. So we were okay with being in close quarters. But I will tell you, for couples who we were supporting and some of them who really needed that support during that time, I think it got to a place where sometimes in your relationship, you have to be mindful of it not just being about what I'm getting. Yeah, we all want great customer service.
Sure.
We do, right? But we got to make sure that, okay, I am here to serve and support as well. And so we all have to audit what is my service and support? Like, what does that look like, feel like, and sound like? And so sometimes it's easy to just be partners in paying bills, partners in sharing a space. But I think during the pandemic time, it really, a lot of our individual stressors, a stress test, and that's something else we do as well in premarital counseling. We do stress tests. We also want to make sure, how are you guys going to handle some of those challenging things that come up and having these conversations? So definitely book us for a session. We love working with couples and even one-on-ones as well.
Absolutely.
If you're thinking about getting married or entering into a serious relationship.
We are Couples Academy practitioners. We are proud to serve with the Couples Academy team. And once again, we not only counsel and work with couples who are married, but also those who are interested in being married.
That's right.
And also we provide one-on-one service as well. So Charmaine likes to say that, are you in a relationship? And the answer is?
And the answer is yes, you are in a relationship with yourself. Okay. So if you're not dating someone else, that's fine. You are still in a relationship with yourself, and you want to be ready for when that opportunity does come. You'll be solid, you'll be confident, and you'll be ready.
Hey, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in to Before I Do tonight. Yes. That concludes our show for the evening, but be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Right. Join us the same time next week. We'll have a hot topic. I don't know what we're going to do next week, but it's going to be something. It's going to be something good. So make sure you are tuned in and look forward to seeing you all then. Be sure to check out the Couples Academy app.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
Good night, everyone. See you next Wednesday night, same time, same place.
What to do before you say I do.